Hello guys, welcome back. I know a lot of you, okay, just making sure I'm going here, I know you're professional. I know a lot of you don't watch the VR stuff, so I'll just kind of recap. We're doing a lot better. We'd had 4 VR homes, 4 VR temples, and they were like, go ahead, get rid of it all. So we got rid of all 4 homes. So like the first home was empty and the 3 homes left, and then by hand, I took out 101 items, roughly. So I had to do that by hand. That was a lot of fun. And I set up the home, and I was like, I want to just set up this minimal home. And we had about 12 items. We had that Viking door you've seen, we had a Bastet statue, we had a couple items from inside Oculus with the beautiful orchid, we had the bed, and we had the Koenigsegg. And this was it. We had like maybe 14, 15 items at the high point. But I was going around testing it to see how it was running, and I'm like, it doesn't quite seem to be running right. And every little thing I let go of started running better. We're getting somewhere, trust me. I let go of the 2 ravens in front of the door, ran a little better. Let go of 2 chairs, ran a little better. We're down to the Koenigsegg and the couch. That's all we have. I like the couch to have somewhere to sit when I go into VR. And this beautiful car that now looks like a $3 million car. She's beautiful. I'm sure if I got rid of the couch and the all the other details in that play space were just blank, she'd look even prettier, but she looks as pretty as she can given, you know, the limitations of the system. And I realized Loki was making a point. Once I let go of any idea of being a heathen, and I'm not going to, once I completely let it go, it was like I was in a speedboat that had been being held back and being held back and being held back by this invisible force the whole time. I've got the throttle down the whole way and I'm not going anywhere. All of a sudden the force lets go and I propel forward like a bullet. Then you're up in the air, looking down at the water as you fly over the sea, wondering about life, and luckily we landed safely. And it just feels like a huge burden got lifted off of me, because it's like, if I just let go of this heathen stuff, I can do what I want. Like I always have. And that's when the trouble started, because someone had said that, you know, they said, well, when has this trouble started? And I had to think back. And at first I thought it was the stress of doing the other channel, and I thought it was all this other stuff. No, the stress started when the heathenry interest started. And that's not meant as an insult to any of you that are natural heathens, but if you naturally take to something, you love it. If it requires too much sacrifice, or it just doesn't feel wrong for you, or you're not living half your life just to do it, then that's probably not meant for you. As soon as I let go of the idea of being heathen and we stopped playing Viking with the halls, it made a lot more sense. We do have that beautiful, beautiful Koenigsegg, because that's a $3 million machine, and she's beautiful. And it was kind of funny. It was like, that's Mama's baby at this point. That's Mama's baby. And as I got rid of everything else, she got a little bit prettier and a little bit prettier. You could actually see it happen, because I'd have like one item, as you would see, and I would be ready to delete it. I would delete it, and she'd like pop a little bit. She ate all the other things except for the couch, and now she's looking at the couch really hopefully, and I'm like, no baby, Mommy needs a place to sit. She's eaten everything. The orchid, the nice furniture, it all looked pretty together. And just for me to briefly explain, you guys know, you've seen me put a ton of stuff in her room. She would have looked fine. She looked fine when I showed her to you in the video. In fact, I was watching the video footage, and I'm like, honestly, if I hadn't seen her change from what she was in that room when I started to what she is now, I wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. I really wouldn't. But since I got to see her pop along the way, I can really tell the difference. I mean, she's beautiful now. She's pretty. And it just took getting rid of all the non-essentials. And we came down to some hard stuff. You know, the Bastet statue I really liked. But the Bastet statue is a beast too. They're both pretty big beasts. You got a 15 megabyte limit, and they're both pretty heavy hitters. Koenigsegg is 12.5, Bastet weighs in at like 8.4. So they're both hitting the upper end there. It's starting to get to the point where they're getting a little greedy for resources. So everything else had to go. And the gods pointed out if I wanted to do the 3 other halls and do like 1 or 2 objects each, I could do that. I don't have to go filling up halls to the 500 item limit. You can, but everything's going to start looking blah and blah and blah. It's why you can see something, it'll look beautiful, and then you bring it into your home in a VR, and it looks like crap because there's too much stuff in there. If you want that one item to look beautiful, sometimes you have to sacrifice almost everything else. I know life is hard. Had I just had a bare, for example, when I did Five Nights at Freddy's, had I just had everything else gone and just had the models there, they would have looked a lot nicer. As I was looking at them in the home, once I was like shaving down to the final items, they looked really beautiful. Don't worry, I saved everything. Everything is put away. So we have our giant toy box of about, seriously, 200 or 300 items that you don't even get when you pull up your regular stuff. We have this huge toy box to go into and play with. But I might do what they said, you know, maybe create another room and not focus so much on the car being beautiful. I can make it just as overloaded as before. It's not a problem. It's just, it's really nice to be able to see all the potential of the car. Loki's like, you getting the metaphor, yeah? Eh? So yeah, he wants me to see I have a lot more potential working with him in all the other gods. Lord Hermes got his altar back the other day. Yesterday in Astera, he was like, I could have my altar back, and Dionysus was like, yeah, and I could be here too. So I'm actually really grateful. The Greek gods and all the other gods love me, and they weren't going to leave, but at the same time, they're under no obligation to just wait around on us. And sometimes they do, and we're very lucky, and sometimes they're like, hey, I didn't have to sit around and wait for you. It depends on the god. It depends on the relationship you have with the god. Some people get along famously with some gods. Some people, you can't put them in the same room. And now that I'm relaxed again and everything's normal, they'll just toddle in and they'll toddle out. And I'm not nervous if they walk in and they're here and then I don't see them for whatever. And I'm not nervous if they're not practically in my lap and they're like all relaxed and like, oh, nap time for God. So I think all my gods are sleeping. But it was really good and the drama's over. I realized I had to let go. I knew I was holding up 2 things and I had to let go of one. I mean, I wasn't sure what the 2 things were. The Pinterest board for Loki's open, but we're kind of over that because so much of that ties back into heathenry, and we all know how much a lot of heathens love Loki, and yeah, it's all like, I want to be away from that drama, guys. Like I told you, when I first found that group of heathen stories, at first, I just read them for entertainment. But then when my critical thinking part of my brain kicked in, it was like, hey, these people are putting forward their views of stuff, and some of these views aren't very nice. Some of the writers seem like really nice people, and they seem like they were trying to teach good principles, like you should offer Nior to donut. It's a long story before going out to sea. But some of them had really kind of sketchy principles, like if you're dumb, wet behind the ears pup, the gods don't want you. Everybody goes through that phase where all the other pagans and witches are just looking up at the ceiling like, oh goddess, please. Yeah, everybody goes through that, especially if you come in through a film door or comic book door or a novel door. Oh my god, yeah, it happens, and it can happen to the seasoned pagans too. You can see a film and get very excited and get very stupid and be running around tripping over yourself. It happens to the best of us. But Loki's very happy because we have the pretty car and we have the sofa, and that's really all we need. I mean, you don't need 5 billion items. The home's really there for you to launch from, and it's there for you to You can play in there between games, and you can do all you want, but it wasn't meant for what we were doing. I mean, we were having fun playing house, but it really isn't meant for that. I mean, you can play house all you want to your heart's desire, but it's really meant to just be a staging area before you launch into an experience. So, I hope you guys like what you see. We're doing a lot better. I feel like 20 years younger. I feel great. So, we will see you guys later. Oh, it's gonna snow in the morning, probably way too early before I get up. And by the time I get up, it's supposed to be gone, but we are getting snow. So the weather for this part of the world is back to normal. We're gonna get some snow in April too, it looks like, and that's normal for us. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.